Alright, we're here for this tournament. Walking in. Let's go, you guys. Our first ever World Series of Poker tournament. I have been dreaming about this day since I got into poker well over 15 years ago, and the day is finally here. I could not be more excited.
There he is. We're just talking about you.
So let's go ahead and get straight into the action. We are looking down at Ace King of Hearts, and the blinds are 100, 200, 200 big blind ante. Under the gun raises to 600, and when it folds us in the small blind, we have a clear 3-bet, so we go ahead and make it 2.2K. The big blind folds and the under the gun player calls, so heads up to the flop, and the flop is absolute dog shit. 10, 9, 7, 2 spades, 1 club. Basically the worst flop that could have possibly came. So when we check and he bets 2.5K, going to have to go ahead and throw this premium in the trash. This hand, the blinds have increased to 200, 300, 300 big blind ante, and we're looking down at King, Queen of Hearts. Bit of a downgrade from last hand, but still a nice suited Broadway of the Hearts variety. Hijack raises to 1K. Pretty aggressive, younger reg, and obviously this is a hand that we could 3-bet, but we would hate to get 4-bet off our equity, and calling is just fine, so we do put in the call, and the big blind folds. So heads up to the flop, and it is a gorgeous one. It is King, King 5 with 2 diamonds, 2.6K in the pot. We go ahead and check in flow to the hijack, and he pretty quickly checks back. The turn is the 4 of clubs, still 2.6K in the pot, and with King, Queen of Hearts, we are unblocking both of the flush draws available on board, and I think after checking twice, he is going to stab pretty frequently. He could have a lot of pairs lower than kings, such as 8s, 9s, maybe 10s, seeking protection. Ton of draws he may bet, 7, 6, etc. All kinds of flush draws. So we do check, and he obliges. He bets 1K. So for the reasons stated before, we're unblocking all the draws and we have a very nice hand. We do decide to bump it up to 2.7K. I think I would have liked a raise to maybe 3.2 would be perfect, but as it stands, 2.7 is not bad. Doesn't think for too long before putting in the call. 8K in the pot, heads up to the river, and it is the 6 of diamonds, so pretty terrible river. All the diamonds get there, 8-7 gets there, but our hand is still so strong. I would hate to check and allow him to just check back pocket 9s or 8s or ace-jack, ace-queen, etc. So I decided to put out a blocker bet of 900, just over 10% pot. Maybe he'll spaz out with some ace-x of diamond hand with 1 diamond and raise, and we can just snap it off. Whereas if we bet bigger, say 2,000, he can make it 10K, then we're in a really tough spot. So I go for the 900 blocker bet, and he pretty quickly folds. So I think he just had missed clubs, jack 10 of clubs, queen 10 of clubs, something along those lines, 10, 9 of clubs. So he pitches his hand pretty quick, and we scoop this pot. Looking down at the red jiggities this hand, what could possibly go wrong? Under the gun, limps, what a fish. Blinds are 200, 400, 400 big blind ante. We're sitting on 122 big blinds, so we go ahead and isolation raise to 1.5K with the jacks. Folds around a hijack, pretty loose splashy player, and he puts in the call. And under the gun, 1 comes along for the ride as well. So 3 ways to the flop, 5.5K in there, and it's a pretty nice flop. 8-4-4 with 2 clubs. Under the gun, 1 checks, and obviously we're going to be betting. Our hand needs a lot of protection. There's a lot of draw possibilities out there, and we should pretty much always be good unless they have ace-4 suited or pocket 8s. So yeah, we fire 2.7K, and both players pretty quickly call. So putting them on a lot of draws. So when the turn is the 4 of diamonds, this is an amazing card. Much less likely they have a 4, and if you do, guess what? You're going to be getting a lot of my chips. Under the gun, 1 checks once again, and yes, definitely going to be betting once again. Our hand should definitely be good. So we fire 5.5K into 13.6. I like this bet size, and both players pretty quickly fold. So we're going to scoop a healthy pot. All right, you guys, lock in. Super interesting hand. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. We're sitting on 142 big blinds, blinds at 200, 400, 400 big blind ante, and we're looking down at pocket fives in the small blind. Pretty loose, splashy, older recreational player. Opens to 1K from under the gun 2. Middle position calls, hijack calls. So getting a great price, we go ahead and call in the small blind, and the big blind puts in the call as well. 5 ways to the flop, praying for that 5 one time, and we do hit. The poker gods bless us. 8-5-3 with 2 diamonds, middle set, absolute dream scenario, only losing the pocket 8s. So we check in flow, and it checks over to the pre-flop Razor, who bets 2.2K into 5.4 thousand. So when it folds to us, we have a mandatory raise. Diamonds out there, straight draws out there. He can easily have an overpair under the gun to raise. He has a lot of bigger pairs in his range, so raise is definitely in order. We decide to raise to 5.9 thousand. I like this sizing. We don't want to make it 7,000 or something crazy and get him to fold 9s, maybe even 10s. We do not want to scare away our customer, so we make it 5.9. And now, surprisingly, the big blind calls. Under the gun 2 calls as well. So 3 ways to the turn, and it is the 3 of clubs. 23.1K in the pot. I'm putting the big blind on a ton of huge draws. Ace X of diamonds, 7-6 of diamonds, something along those lines. So now that he is dead, and I'm pretty sure Under the Gun 2 has some type of overpair, so he's drawing pretty slim as well. I don't want to blast huge, so I decide to bet 7,000, just under a third pot. The big blind calls, and Under the Gun 2 doesn't think too long and puts in the call as well. So monster pot, 44.1K in there, off to the river, and it is the 10 of clubs. So all things considered, not the best river, not the worst, pretty indifferent to this river, honestly. So I'm trying to come up with a size that I think Under the Gun 2 will call with an overpair. What's the max he will call with some type of overpair? I don't think big blind's going to call. I think he's just going to snap fold whatever type of draw he had. So I do eventually settle on 18,000, just under half pot. Big blind does fold, and now Under the Gun 2 does not think for very long and just rips all in. Absolutely terrible spot. My heart absolutely sinks when I hear these words, and it's one of those spots where I can just sense right away I'm cooked. But I already know it's going to be so hard to fold, especially when I know he most likely just got there on the river. I don't really think he has pocket 8s the way the hand played out. The timing tells of the hand. I'm just really discounting pocket 8s, so it's just so hard when you know you got 1 or 2 outered on the river like that. But in all reality here, he is just not doing this with an overpair anymore. He just never is. He's just snapping the 18. He's literally never doing this. It's never a bluff. 0% of the time a bluff. Pretty much 0% of the time aces or kings. I would like to lie to myself and say, oh, what if he's spazzing out with aces or kings or something? He's just not. He's just not, especially multi-way, you know, this early in the tournament. And, you know, it's brutal. I've ran so bad lately, and it's one of those entitlement things, I think, with this hand where I just didn't want to accept it. I knew I was beat, but I just couldn't accept it. You know, there's not even a flush out there he can be value owning himself with. There's not even a straight. There's not even a straight possible. He can't be owning himself with the worst hand. He can't be value owning himself. This is always a full house, and we have like the weakest full house. To my defense, I did see him play 5-3 suited from later position. Someone else raised, and he called button or cutoff or something with 5-3 suited. Like I said, he was kind of loose pre-flop, but post-flop, I did not see him messing around much. And this is definitely messing around. This is telling us I got the nuts. Fold. But I wasn't in a folding mood. I didn't fly out to Vegas to fold, so I didn't even think about it for too long. I just said, I can't fold this, and called. And obviously, he had Pocket tens. What a surprise. Super tilting. But hey, you know, you live and you learn. It's one of those things where our absolute hand strength just doesn't really matter. Yes, we have a full house. A lot of people would just chalk this up to bad luck. And you know, it is bad luck. But at the end of the day, we can make this fold. We're a good enough player to make this fold. I just wasn't in a folding mood. We would have had absolute heaps if we won this hand. So unfortunately, this time we could not find the fold, and that is going to do it for us. That is the end of the road.
I like it. So I have to call for small bets. I don't like it.
Bring your chips out.
Fucking hand.
Yeah, I got
Ace
it.
eight.
Ace
four.
for 9. Okay.
45, 40, 45.
Ace. I think ace 8 diamond.
9.
That's pretty lucky. The size is bigger. I fold. I almost folded on.
Well, I mean, I want you to call. I want you to call. Well, that sucked, you guys. This got a pretty bad cooler. Maybe we should have thought about it a little more at the end, but, you know, such is life. What can you do? I knew exactly what both of them had. I knew Big Blind had a big draw. I figured early position I had some type of repair. I was thinking it was jacks, queens, kings, aces. Should have thought more about the tens. Honestly, when he rips all in on the river, now that pretty much narrows his range to just tens. But, you know, I mean, I knew neither of them had pocket eights. So, I mean, if you have pocket tens, just here you go. I mean, we would have had about 25K left if we folded. But honestly, we probably should have at least thought about it more. What can you do, you know? If I would have won that pot, we would have had heaps. So, whatever. This guy's not having a good time. Damn, bro. Could be worse, I guess, right? So, whatever. We really only lost 1170 because I had someone that had a piece of me. They were getting 20% for 330. So we lost 1170. So I thought we played the hand well. I knew exactly what both players had. I should have just maybe folded river. Probably not. Whatever. Way she goes.